In the grand tapestry of history, few figures cast as formidable a shadow as Napoleon Bonaparte. A man whose name became synonymous with an era, whose ambitions redrew the map of Europe, and whose legacy continues to resonate even today. As the 19th century dawned, a star rose in the European theater, a star that would shine its brightest between the sacred halls of Notre-Dame and the audacious declaration of the Continental System. Today, we delve into the golden age of Napoleon, the height of his power, and the intricate web of politics, war, and ambition that define this period. In the early years of the 19th century, Europe was in the midst of a transformative period, with Napoleon Bonaparte as its central figure. Napoleon, a military genius with a voracious ambition, rose from obscurity to command the destiny of a continent. By 1804, having navigated the tumultuous waters of the French Revolution and with a series of stunning military and political maneuvers behind him, he reached the apogee of power by crowning himself Emperor of the French. With the resurgence of the French Empire, a vast expanse of territories, ranging from the sun-kissed plains of Spain to the dense forests of Poland, fell under Napoleon's dominion. This newfound territorial breadth provided Napoleon with a canvas on which he meticulously crafted a new political panorama for Europe. His vision was not just about annexing territories but also about sculpting a network of power that had its roots deeply embedded in family and loyalty. To this end, he made calculated decisions, placing his brothers and most trusted confidants on strategic thrones across the continent. This intertwining of blood and power meant that the French Empire was not just a geopolitical entity, but a familial dynasty that spanned Europe. Napoleon's genius wasn't confined to military conquests, he was also a master diplomat. Through a combination of shrewd negotiations, alliances, and, when necessary, the sheer force of arms, he reshaped the boundaries and allegiances of European states. This era witnessed the decline of age-old institutions that had once held sway over large parts of the continent. Among them, the Holy Roman Empire, a political entity that had persisted for a millennium, found itself eclipsed by the rising sun of the Napoleonic era. In its place sprouted new political constructs that were more aligned with Napoleon's vision and interests. The Confederation of the Rhine emerged as a collective of Germanic states, pledging allegiance to Napoleon and serving as a buffer against his adversaries. Further south, the rich and culturally vibrant regions of the Italian peninsula were unified into the Kingdom of Italy, further solidifying Napoleon's influence over the heart of Europe. Napoleon's prowess was not merely limited to the intricate dance of politics and palace intrigues, it was in the tempestuous theaters of war where his luminosity truly blazed. Europe's rolling fields, dense woods, and winding rivers bore witness to his military acumen. These landscapes, sometimes serene and at other times treacherous, became the stages upon which the Napoleonic dramas of war unfolded, and where his genius in command and strategy became the stuff of legends. The year 1805 stands out in this storied military career, epitomized by the Battle of Austerlitz. Often hailed as Napoleon's magnum opus in terms of military engagements, Austerlitz wasn't just another battlefield but a canvas upon which the emperor painted a masterpiece of war. Faced with the daunting coalition of the Russo-Austrian forces, a lesser commander might have hesitated or faltered. But for Napoleon, it was an opportunity to demonstrate his unparalleled tactical insight. With the precision of a maestro conducting an orchestra, he deployed deceptive feints that kept the enemy guessing, executed flanking maneuvers that caught them off guard, and utilized the terrain in ways that multiplied the effectiveness of his forces. Every ridge, valley, and plain was used to his advantage, turning the geography itself into an ally. The climax of this strategic ballet was the resounding crescendo of a French victory, one that not only humbled the combined might of the Russian and Austrian empires but also sent shockwaves throughout Europe about the sheer dominance of the Napoleonic forces. The aftermath of Austerlitz saw the Treaty of Pressburg being etched into the annals of European history. This wasn't just another diplomatic document but a testament to the fruits of victory. Through it, French territorial acquisitions were cemented, and more importantly, Napoleon's influence over Central Europe was bolstered, casting a long shadow of French hegemony across the continent. Napoleon's triumph at Austerlitz set the stage for a series of significant events in 1806, further strengthening his grip over Europe and signaling a new direction in his strategy against the perennial British foe. As 1806 dawned, the reverberations of Austerlitz were felt acutely by the remaining powers of the old Holy Roman Empire. This patchwork quilt of states, which had persisted for centuries, found itself facing a profound existential threat in the face of Napoleonic ambitions. In July of that year, sensing the untenability of the Holy Roman Empire in this new order, Emperor Francis II formally dissolved it, thereby ending a millennium-old institution. Out of its ashes rose the Confederation of the Rhine, a group of German states that were reorganized under Napoleon's patronage, acting not only as a buffer to his adversaries in Central Europe but also as a testament to his power to reshape the political fabric of the continent. But 1806 was not just a year of political consolidation for Napoleon. Militarily, he remained as active as ever. The Prussian challenge was met head-on at the battles of Jena and Auerstedt. With the Prussian army decisively defeated, Napoleon's forces marched into Berlin, further establishing the French Empire's dominance over Central Europe. This rapid conquest of Prussia, a significant European power, only added to Napoleon's growing legend and the aura of invincibility that surrounded him. Yet, with mainland Europe increasingly under his sway, Britain remained a persistent and vexing challenge, one that eluded Napoleon's grasp. Given the British naval supremacy, affirmed by the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, a direct confrontation seemed unwise. So, Napoleon, ever the innovator, sought to combat Britain not through direct military confrontation but by striking at its economic lifeline. Thus, in November 1806, from the captured Prussian capital of Berlin, Napoleon issued the famous Berlin Decree, marking the inception of the Continental System. This audacious economic strategy aimed to close all European ports to British trade, thereby crippling the British economy and forcing them to the negotiating table. The period from the aftermath of Austerlitz to the establishment of the Continental System saw Napoleon's star shining brighter than ever, with an unmatched military and political dominance over mainland Europe. However, the audacity of the Continental System also sowed the seeds of challenges that would emerge in the subsequent years, as enforcing such a comprehensive blockade proved easier to decree than done. From the hallowed arches of Notre-Dame, where the weight of the imperial crown first met Napoleon's brow, to the proclamation of the audacious Continental System, Europe bore witness to the most resplendent chapters of the Napoleonic saga. This was not merely a stretch of time but a golden age, where the brilliance and ambition of a singular man manifested a vision so grand, it ensnared an entire continent. Towns and territories, from the Mediterranean to the Baltic, resonated with tales of his conquests, and the echo of his decrees altered the rhythm of daily life from Parisian boulevards to the rural heartlands of Europe. However, even at this pinnacle of power, the foundations of his vast empire were not as immutable as they might have seemed. Within the breathtaking tapestry of victories, diplomatic coups, and societal reforms, threads of potential discord were woven in. Each decision, each alliance, and every military maneuver added layers of complexity to the geopolitical landscape. As much as Napoleon was a master of the grand gesture, Europe was a vast and varied canvas, with its own intricate web of loyalties, aspirations, and centuries-old rivalries. Even as the French tricolor fluttered over freshly conquered territories and the Napoleonic Code sought to bring uniformity to the legal systems, simmering discontent and resistance bubbled beneath the surface. The Continental System, while a masterstroke in theory, hinted at the magnitude of challenges that lay ahead. It was an embodiment of the delicate balance of power and the volatility that came with trying to enforce one nation's will upon diverse lands and peoples. As history would later reveal, the ebb and flow of empires is an eternal dance, and even the mightiest of reigns are often precariously poised on the ever-shifting sands of geopolitics and ambition. If you found this story captivating and want to dive deeper into the ebb and flow of history, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Ages in Motion for more insightful tales from our shared past. Remember, history is not just a series of events, it's a dance of ages in motion, and every era, every leader, and every decision weaves a story worth exploring. Until next time, keep the wheels of time turning.